Almost 3 years since the first Home Hub hit the market, now known as the Nest Hub, Google's first foray into smart displays has a sequel, but just what should you expect? This is our full review of the second generation Nest Hub. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. So technology today is already quite assistive, from location-aware reminders to notifications telling you when to leave, factoring in live traffic conditions. In fact, that's now probably the base level of usefulness that we expect from almost all of our gadgets. After a week of using Google's second-gen Nest Hub, we have experienced the next level of computers passively suggesting what improvements can be made in your life, and we think it might take some time to get used to. At a glance, the Nest Hub, the second gen version as it's officially called, looks exactly like the 2018 Home Hub. Google carried over the floating screen attached to an oblong fabric covered base aesthetic, with the only physical change being a flat display that sees the glass sit atop the rear plastic backing. While minor, this makes the screen much easier to clean, as there is no longer a raised lip that dust can be wedged in between. It's minor but much appreciated when wiping and cleaning the device. Another change is how edge-to-edge smart display gestures are now no longer encumbered by that perimeter, which prevented flat, smooth swiping. Hardware-wise, the other big change is something that you can't see. Following the Pixel 4 and the new Nest thermostat, Google has brought its Soli sensor tech to the Nest Hub. We're told the radar component is located in the top right, but it's not at all visible by the naked eye. In settings, you can actually disable motion sense entirely, while you also have the option to turn it on and off, or the quick gestures on and off should you prefer those. At launch, you're able to play and pause media by air tapping the front of your display. This gesture is absolutely delightful, and it works much better than the camera-based feature on the Nest Hub Max. It's been wonderful for listening to music while resting in bed with your eyes closed and just vaguely gesturing over the smart display to end playback, but this is especially useful, at least as far as I'm concerned, in kitchen scenarios where you might have a hand covered in grease or cooking accoutrements and don't want to touch the display, where you can do so, pause and play, without even having to use your voice. You can just wave your hands. The convenience and the fact you don't have to be very precise. Taps start at around 18 inches away in our experience when making these gestures makes it all the more frustrating that you can't yet skip or go back to the last track with a wave. This action is available on the Pixel 4, but currently only used to snooze alarms by the Nest Hub, but we do hope that an update will bring support for this soon, as it is a neat feature and it will be very much appreciated on the new Nest Hub. In terms of performance, the only change that we have actively observed is the second gen Nest Hub boots faster than the original, or even the Hub Max for that matter. The quad-core 64-bit 1.9 GHz ARM CPU is clocked higher than the Nest Mini, which is at 1.4 GHz, or the Nest Audio at 1.8 GHz, and is paired with a high-performance machine learning hardware engine that processes your most frequently used commands on device. In practice, animation performance and loading speeds are mostly unchanged though. The other big feature made possible by the Soli radar chip is actually sleep sensing. This new Nest Hub marks Nest's entrance into health, though that fact is overshadowed by Google's broader hardware division buying a whole other company to do basically the same thing. The brand started with thermostats and later expanded to cameras, smoke detectors, and security systems, while Google Nest added speakers and smart displays to their lineup. Wellness is a natural extension of providing assistance in the home though, as most users in the Google ecosystem actively get help from the assistant when they're out in the world. I, along with many of my colleagues, are certainly one of these people, wearing sleep trackers or devices touting sleep tracking already. Despite that history and experience, using sleep sensing on the Nest Hub has proved to be a new and slightly unexpected, at least for my colleague Abner, who tested the sleep tracking portion of the new Nest Hub. The setup process involves agreeing to a preview of sleep sensing in their Google Home app. Right off the bat, it's emphasised how your Nest Hub does not have a camera, so no distinguishable images of your body or face are generated. Rather, the low-powered radar monitor actually uses the movement of your limbs and body to utilise this feature, while the tracking method is actually precise enough to track the rising and falling of your chest during breathing. There is the optional ability to track sound events like coughing and snoring. This is meant to better understand what might be disturbing your rest. For example, frequent coughs might actually mean it's time to clean or replace your old mattress. However, sleep tracking will continue to work without the microphone active. Users have to also agree to connecting the sleep feature with Google Assistant and Fit for personalised insights. After the in-app setup, you're asked to position your Nest Hub next to you so that it's 1 to 2 feet away from your resting position. For consistent results, it is recommended that the smart display remains in the same spot every evening. You're finally asked to lay down for a minute as part of the initial calibration setup. Google will also tell you with an icon on the top right corner when sleep sensing is active, as well as with a banner on the always on clock above the time. Users are able to disable it for whatever reason by sliding up a quick settings and tapping a new sleep button. Quick gestures though will continue to work as normal. In all, very little effort is actually on your part needed to have the Nest Hub track sleep, save your positioning element. Compared to say a fitness tracker that you may wear daily, there's no charging or remembering to keep it attached. Even if you don't mind something on your wrist overnight, it's hard not to remain aware of it, and even if you have been doing so for a long time, the Nest Hub removes any thought needed as you start slumbering, which is a really big benefit for some people out there. After using it for over a week, we've found radar-based sleep tracking to be mostly in line with devices like the Fitbit Sense, though the Nest Hub could be better at recognising when you're awake and still in bed. Results are shown on screen by asking, "Hey Google, how did I sleep? Did I snore last night? How was my breathing, etc." If you use a dedicated sleep tracker and like it, you're missing sleep stages that tell you about REM, light and deep sleep, but at the end of the day, most people will suffice with knowing just how long they slept. That duration, which is 7 to 9 hours recommended, is one of Google's core sleep tenets, with schedule and quality being the others. The former is meant to encourage you to keep consistent hours, while the latter factors in snoring, coughing, light change and temperature, which is a new sensor in the second generation Nest Hub, but only for sleep tracking and no other purposes today. This forms an on-display graphic where each of those three elements are represented as circles. A good night of sleep sees three shapes become one. It's a very nice way to visualize sleep data, and one of the most user-friendly and frankly human that we've seen in the field. It's not just scores or the very dense line graphs with a multitude of spikes and colours. The friendliness is an easy win for Google, and nothing about the other data collected, including breaths per minute, is surprising. What was entirely unexpected to us, even after years of wearing similar devices from Fitbit and the like, were the sleep suggestions offered by Nest Hub. They appear as 2x1 cards on the home screen, with last October's redesign a clear precursor to being able to surface passive amounts of information throughout your day, including a countdown closer to bedtime. You may get pop-ups within the information panel for snippets about the effects of sleeping in, or other snippets of information like how morning light sets up your body clock, but it can be quite jarring seeing these pop-ups simply after having your Nest Hub track your sleep after just one night. After a full week, you should get a sleep report with insights and personalised tips in the new Wellness tab. Unfortunately, I myself have not yet had enough time with the device for this to generate, but it does highlight areas of concern and why you should care, with education videos and a corrective sleep suggestion offered. The Nest Hub is also able to recognise an inconsistent sleep pattern and will give you recommendations on setting a new sleep schedule. After 2 weeks of everyday usage, Sleep Sensing will start offering personalised sleep and wake up times. So all in all, the new Nest Hub 2nd Gen sets the Google Assistant down the path of having an all-encompassing look at your day and well-being. As much as our initial reaction to that was quite jarring, it's exciting to get a glimpse of the future in a $99 package that is already so useful in many other ways. The speaker and alarm, which is enhanced by Soli gestures, the photo frame and mini TV, and smart home control center you want, is now also an entirely optional sleep tracker that is more than just works, and it's mostly friendly about it. Google might just need to convince people that this new Nest Hub is something that you want to put in your bedroom though. That leads us to a bigger question for you out there though. Are you happy to put the new Nest Hub in your bedroom and have Google track you sleeping, or is that an absolute no-go? If you have any other questions about the new Nest Hub, we'll have some more content coming very soon, including comparisons with the original model, so you just know what the differences or the different areas are. But let us know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. And until next time, this is Damien with 9to5 Google saying thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you later.